Now we start with the coronavirus situation in South Korea. The country has been seeing a gradual decline in the number of new infections as the government readies to transition the population back to normal life. However, with crowds expected to gather for Halloween celebrations this weekend, health authorities remain on alert.
They certainly do. For more on this and other COVID-19 related updates, joining us is our reporter Choi Min-jung. Good morning, Min-jung.
Good morning.
Now, let's start with the forecast for Monday. We have another couple of hours to wait before the official tally is out, but how are the estimates looking thus far?
Well, we're expecting to see numbers today go hovering around the 1,200 range. From midnight to 9 p.m. last night, South Korean health authorities confirmed a little over 1,100 cases. This is some 220 cases fewer than what was reported on Saturday. Of the locally transmitted cases, more than 80% were confirmed in the Greater Seoul area.
So we've been seeing a downward move over the weekend. But as I mentioned a while ago, authorities are bracing for another potential uptick as we approach the Halloween season.
Right, so we usually tend to see fewer infections earlier in the week because there are fewer tests being done over the weekend. But like you said, what's troubling is what will happen this weekend. Authorities are worried young people will flock to crowded areas like Itaewon and Hongdae to celebrate Halloween. And it's more concerning as people can feel complacent, as South Korea is currently going through a transition phase to living with COVID-19. And to prevent another possible uptick, the government is planning to conduct intensive inspections from Wednesday to next Tuesday. And this will be done during the night at bars and entertainment facilities in Seoul.
Yeah, Halloween is a real big night in South Korea. Lots of young people go out and enjoy the evening and drink lots of alcohol. But let's hope there isn't another spike in cases as people gather together. Some good news, though. The vaccination rate here in South Korea is still on the up and up.
Right, so the number of fully vaccinated people reached 70% on Saturday, and this milestone is significant as it was a precondition for resuming pre-pandemic life. Although South Korea was a late starter in terms of the vaccination drive, it took just 8 months to reach that milestone. The country outpaced or closely approached the completion rate of other major economies that started their respective vaccination drives much earlier than Korea. Health authorities are expecting 75% of the population to have been fully vaccinated by the end of this month.
Well, that is good news. Well, now that the country has achieved its vaccination goal required to shift to the Living with COVID-19 scheme, we heard the government will tell us this afternoon on the details of this.
Yes, the government will be holding a public hearing in the coming hours on the plans for living with COVID-19. Though it's not finalized, they will be unveiling a blueprint at 2 p.m. today. The finalized plan will be announced on Friday, and the measures will very likely be implemented from November 1st.
Okay, well, I'm sure I'm speaking for most people that I'm really looking forward to getting back to ordinary life after this past couple of years of upheaval. But we don't know exactly what the plan is for now. It's still being fleshed out by officials and that public-private committee that's been set up. But what kind of restrictions are likely to be lifted from the 1st of November?
Right, so what's likely to change is the operation hours for restaurants and cafes. Watchers are expecting the government to completely lift restrictions on business hours for these facilities. And also, in line with the transition, the government plans to allow the use of discount coupons for dining out, sports activities, travel, and other cultural activities as well. The authorities have also announced that operation hours for public transportation will also go back to normal. Starting Monday, most subway lines and buses in Seoul will operate normally, and the operation of public transportation was reduced by 20% after 10 p.m. since the fourth wave of the pandemic broke out.
Okay, thank you, Min-jung, for your report. Did a good job on her first day. We'll talk to you again later in the noon newscast.
Thank you.
Thank you.